All right. Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk with Daisy. I want to welcome you to our first installment. I'm going to give you a little information about myself and then we're going to get into the topic at hand. I've been in SL for over 10 years. December 6th, 2007 is when I started. That is a long time ago. I have been through several different looks, several different jobs in SL, and really just about everything you can imagine in SL, I have probably done it. Because, well, I thought that, and I still think that, we all need to enjoy ourselves while we are in SL, and that's pretty much how we're going to do it. So, I have been blogging on my personal blog for actually it's been a little over a year now, but it's not a fashion blog. I do like to take pictures. I love pictures, but ultimately I like to talk. We all know I like to talk. That's why I DJ. Um, I like to express my opinions, tell people how I feel, and really go from there. So, that being said, we're going to start this new installment of things on my blog because I thought maybe I needed to do a little more verbal talking, not just typing it out, because there's so many things that I want to say that I just can't get into words right. I mean, I can talk all day long, but typing it all out and getting it into a format where everyone can understand it, that's something else entirely. So, today's conversation is going to be about relationships in Second Life. And you're probably asking yourself, well, why are we going to talk about relationships? You're in one, it seems to be solid. Why do you want to talk about them? Well, I may be in a relationship and it is a very solid one, but not everybody is. And I've seen some interesting things in Second Life that probably do need to be addressed. So let's talk about that for a minute, okay? When I started in Second Life, a little over 10 years ago, I was a noob, looked like a noob, acted like a noob, walked around like a noob, and I met my first guy in SL. We talked off and on for the first few months, but then he got what he wanted and he left. Um, then it's been a cycle since then. I've had some serious relationships in SL. I've met some great people in SL, friends, lovers, all of it. Um, but I've seen a lot of heartache, not just on my side, but from other people as well. Um, I think a lot of people forget that behind the avatars, there are real people. We do have emotions. We do feel. I mean, it's a big thing for us, and I think some people forget that. I really do. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. Is that whole let's forget about what's behind these people. Let's just look at their pixels and think, ooh, I want to bump pixels with that person. And yes, I call it bumping pixels because ultimately that's what you are doing. Don't get me wrong, it can be nice, it can be fun, but you're still bumping pixels because it's a pixelated form of you. It's not your real body. So, anyway, recently I saw a couple of friends of mine and I have been having real conversations about relationships and the things that for some reason people do. Um, so in Second Life, I wrote about this on a blog. I know it's called the Second Life soulmate phenomenon because you meet this person, you start talking to them, or within 5 minutes, that this person's your soulmate, your other half. It's the person you've been looking for your entire life. It's what completes you and it makes you whole. There are several people in Second Life, actually, I'm going to say about half the population, who run around and say that about every person they meet. This person's their soulmate. This person's their soulmate. This person's their soulmate. I don't think they fully understand what that means. In my opinion, soulmate is someone who is not you. It's like a mirror image of you, if that makes sense. They are you, they're part of you, but they don't have to be the person that you're dating. Um, from what I have learned through my 38 years of life, the person who's your soulmate is probably not going to be somebody that you date because that relationship's going to be very volatile. It's going to be one of those relationships where things are always grr, or you're at each other, or you're pushing each other. And that can be a problem. You don't want to be in a relationship like that. Um, so it's kind of it's one of those things. you want to be with your soulmate, but you don't, because it's going to be a really hard relationship. Now, these people who run around Second Life saying, "Oh, this is my soulmate. This is the person I'm going to be with forever." Those are the people that worry me. Because ultimately, they run, well, scared, pardon me. Okay. Anyway, they run around screaming that this person's their soulmate and they're going to spend the rest of their life with this person and they're going to be everything they could ever need or want, and they've saved them. That's one of our current conversation themes, is the people who run around screaming, "Oh, this person saved me. They brought me back from the dead." There's even one who runs around telling you that you saved him from trying to kill himself. That is a big problem for me. See, suicide is very, very sketchy as it is. I mean, I don't mean sketchy in a bad way. It's one of those things that you don't want to talk about it. And there are people who run around SL who constantly say, "Oh, I tried to kill myself," or, "Oh, we broke up and I was on the verge of killing myself." Like, why are you telling people this? And the ones who threaten, "Oh, if you do this, I'm going to kill myself." That bugs me, because ultimately you're making it where people, when people are really trying to do that cry for help for suicide, people are going to ignore it because you've got all these people over here screaming, "Oh, I'm going to kill myself." So no one wants to listen. It's like crying wolf. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. I apologize. I get off on tangents. Relationships. Here's the thing. These people run around screaming out, "You're my soulmate and I'm in love with you." That's my other pet peeve. Um, you meet someone, you say hello, nice Abby, great hair, nice ass, whatever, I don't care. And then within like 15 minutes, you guys are dancing with each other, or you're sitting somewhere and you're chatting, either voice or text, and then all of a sudden, by the end of that night, you've got a, "Man, I could see a person really falling for you." Red flag right there. Then, the next morning, you log in. They're there. You're like, "Yay, get to spend time with this person." You hang out with them. About an hour in, "You know, I love you." That's not safe. Trust me, it's not one of those less than 24-hour kind of "I'm in love with you" things. No, that's not how this works. It's one of those, "I'm telling you what you want to hear so I can get what I want from you." Be it sex, be it money, anything. They're telling you what you want to hear. They get a feel for you, they listen to what you want, and then they start playing that up. I had a whole other blog post that I did called "The Little Mesh Doll," and it's about people who conform themselves into what they think this other person wants to get what they want. So you meet a person and they start dating you. And we're going to use me for example. I have elf ears, and right now I have wings, but that's a whole other story. So you get into a relationship with me. This little mesh doll does. And it takes on aspects of my look. Like, it gets elf ears. And I claim to be the elf queen. That's my running thing right now. I am the fucking elf queen. Yes, I use fucking because I am the fucking elf queen. Anyway, this person gets elf ears to be like me. They try to get themselves labeled as the elf king so they can be part of my world. They take on aspects of each person that they're with, but they don't bring themselves into the relationship. They bring those aspects, and that's it. You have no idea who this person is. So within a first 20 minutes of meeting you, they're already starting to figure out what they're going to have to say to get you to give them what they want. I was with someone for 2 months at SL. I thought it was a great relationship. We got engaged. When he asked me to marry him, he couldn't afford the ring himself, so my best friend gave him 5,000 linden. Because I was happy, and she wanted this to happen for me because we all thought this was going to happen. So that being said, when he bought the ring, it wasn't 5,000 linden. It was only 2. So the other part of that money went to God knows what, probably one of the girls he was screwing on the side. Because it is being brought to my attention that he is one of those grass is greener people, and the moment things started to look a little rough, a little not perfect for him, he started looking elsewhere. So I'm sure in the 2 months that we were together, which now apparently weren't even important months for him, he had already started talking to other girls, was already sleeping with other girls. And I did find out ultimately later that he had been sleeping with a friend of mine at the first part of our relationship when we were still talking before we were officially dating. Um, the day he left me, he just stopped talking to me. And the next day, gave me an excuse about why he left me or wasn't talking to me. And then by that afternoon, he broke up with me. 5 hours later, five to the dime, he had already had someone new in his profile and was back with someone else. That relationship didn't last either. I'm actually friends with that person now. But this is what I'm showing you. He got into a relationship, said the things that he needed to say to get what he needed, and then he got out. And that seems to be the pattern in SL. You get what you need and you move on. It doesn't matter if someone else has emotions or not, or feelings, or if you're even hurting that person. And yeah, it hurt. It hurt a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's still something I have to deal with because I have a huge trust issues. But I'm working on that because what I have right now is so much better. I don't have to worry about if he's off screwing other people. I don't have to worry about if tomorrow he's going to wake up and be like, okay, I've got what I need. I need to go. Because that's not how our relationship works. We were friends first. Then it changed. And that's the best way to do it. Get to know the person first before you jump into anything. So, I'm going to stop rambling now. But just know, relationships in Second Life are hard. They are not easy. And you've got to remember that people have emotions. Don't treat relationships like they're easy and they're tissues. Do not go through them like tissues because that is going to be the killer for your relationship right there.